gals, backwaters and backroads here, obviously. What are we doing today on this beautiful day? I am going to try to make a floating dock out of this 20-foot pontoon boat that I picked up a couple years ago. Got it really cheap. Maybe I'll explain as I'm making the video how basically this is going to turn out to be free. But there's several steps and you kind of plan for it and make it happen. But how about instead of just going off on it right at the beginning here, as we try to build this floating dock for the front of my house here, I'll just explain to you how this all came together. Stay tuned. I'll just go around this real quick and show you. So it's actually a quality pontoon boat that could be turned into something, shanty boat or something. But I already have a shanty boat over there. It's a tracker. It's got a really nice trailer, which is going to play a part in how this project will ultimately become free, because for those that don't know, there seems to be about 10 pontoon boats for every pontoon boat trailer in the world. So a lot of times people just are looking for trailers, you know, and you can buy them new, but they're really expensive and they just keep going up. And I've listed, you know, stuff like this before, and people are always like, will you sell just the trailer? And if I have time, I always respond, you mean like set the pontoon boat in the water or on the ground and sell you the trailer, and then in a few months I have to be in the same position that you're in, which is, what do I do with this pontoon boat without a trailer? And people usually always just say, oh, well, yeah. So they're trying to pass their problem on to you, and don't fall for it. But anyways, guys, all of this wood came from salvaging this old, it used to be like an orphanage outside of town here, just outside of Ontonagon. And they had it used to be a working orphanage. And some of the buildings, you know, half burned down, like back in the, I don't know, 90s or something. And so I asked the owner if I could come in and, you know, grab what I can. And I've got a whole bunch of tin, which I'm going to use for other projects. And some of it is this decent. I mean, it's not great. It's, you know, it's weathered, but I think it's going to be fine for what we're doing. Got some planks here, and we're going to see if we can put a deck on this, and then we're going to put it in the river so I can actually easily get on and off my boats. So let's see what happens. First time I've ever done this. So you can see I have to remove a little bit of this rotten plywood that was on it. Won't be hard. And then there's all these little screws. They're kind of like self-tapping screws that they use at the factory. I got to get those off. I got to get the steering off and kind of prep the deck for what I'm going to put on it. Okay, so I got the steering column, wheel, and cable out, and it still works. That's probably going to come in handy for some future project. And now I am getting all the wiring out of the way. So I was wondering how I'm going to get these self-tapping screws out of the aluminum, because they're so corroded. And what I'm finding out is it's really easy just to put a pair of vice grips on them and break them loose. And I might be able to salvage some of these too to use them again. We'll see. Okay, guys. So I got the rest of the rotten deck off, and I am taking out these self-tapping screws. I'm trying to save enough of them that I can use some again to put the decking I'm going to put on it down. And I told you I would tell you about, here, let me turn the phone around. I told you I'd tell you how this is basically going to be free by the time I'm done. So I picked this up for $1,500. Now, I knew it was a good deal, even with the rotten deck, and it had an old two-stroke on it, because of the trailer. I mean, you go and you try to find a bunk trailer, a good bunk trailer for a pontoon, you're going to spend, bare minimum $2,500, probably more like $3,500. And I picked it up on the way back from Texas after selling a Nomad a couple years ago to my buddy Don. If you're watching this, hi Don. So I grabbed it, came home. Now I sold the Mercury, I think it had a Mercury 60 on it, two-stroke with an oil injector. Sold that on Facebook for, I want to say $300. So I'm down to $1,200. It came with what else did I sell? I think it might have had a trolling motor on it, and I think I got $100 for that, so I'm down to like 1100. And if I figure out a way to put this in the water in front of my house and then get it out, I might do a pulley system where I can pull it up on the bank in the winter, and then I can sell the trailer, and I'll actually make money on this thing. I'll probably make $1,000. So I'm only mentioning this, guys, because money always gets in the way of pretty much everything for budget-minded people. And if you're here on this channel, I imagine you like, one of the things you like is seeing someone have adventures without a lot of money, and that's me. So this is one way I do it. You just got to kind of like plan ahead, and you have steps, and you just do it. And this, you kind of have to have a vision of it, how you're going to pull it off, and if it's a good vision and it's accurate and it's realistic, it'll work out. So I feel like this is a good little point to stop and share with you what I've done so far. I got all the self-tapping screws out of the aluminum, what would you call these, rafters, trusses, and there's still, some of them have, this is just going to be a dock, so I'm trying really hard not to do this right. But if I can scrape off a little bit of the the old stuff, I will. But yeah, I got all the wiring off of it, all the bolts, and it is ready to start figuring out, I haven't quite figured this out yet, but how to put some decking on it. So stay tuned. So all this salvaged lumber has nails. This piece is actually pretty clean, but I've been having to pull the nails out on this stuff. But just go slow. It's like time and money. I got more time than money at the moment, so kind of what I'm thinking right there. And then you can see that it's going to have plenty of support in the back and the front here, but there's a midsection that I'm going to have to probably double up the wood, maybe even two pieces down here in the rafters to give it some, so it doesn't want to flex too much right there. And I wouldn't worry about it too much if this was new wood, but this is really old. It's definitely seen better days, but it'll get the job done, I think. We'll keep going. Another update for you guys. So I am laying out the wood that I've got, and this is what it's looking like so far. I'm not screwing anything down yet because I need to go get new and longer self-tapping screws to put this on, but I can do that tomorrow probably. And this is kind of what I'm coming up with so far. I don't know if I'm going to have enough of this. If I don't, I'll have to maybe try to use some of the driftwood that I've gotten. But yeah, what do you think, guys? After this is down, I could sand it down a little bit, and I'll just probably not walk around barefoot on it if I can help it. It's gonna probably have lots of slivers and but this is it. Give me some thoughts below. Well, good morning, guys and gals. Welcome to day 2 of building the floating dock. And I spent, well, my subconscious just worked on it all night while I was kind of sleeping. It was just milling around in my head like, what's the best way to go about this? And I think I came up with an answer. Let me turn the phone around and I'll show you. Okay, so as you guys see, I have a very limited amount of, what do they call those? Two by sixes, I guess. 2x6s. I think I have enough to do this though, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. Say it as quickly as I can here. So I'm starting up at the front because I have, you know, basically a straight edge with the, what would you call that, the trim off of the pontoon. And I'm cutting them, and I'm making sure that they're landing halfway on these supports. So I can get, you know, something in here, and then the next one, you know how it goes. And, you know, I'm trying to maximize it, like this one, for example. I'll just cut it right here, and I'll have to, you know, waste a little bit of that. And what I'm doing is, instead of coming all the way back to the end of the pontoons, for now, I'm coming to the last support. I have to leave the transom exposed for when I move it. You know, I have an outboard that I'm going to put on here, like a portable one. And I can move it, you know, from the launch ramp up to the front of my house and back and forth. So I have to leave that open, but, you know, I'm going to probably be pulling pulling the barge, you know, up to the back. And so I want to have the deck come all the way to the end, right? So I'm going to make a removable piece that goes from here to here. I'm going to have to add some wooden supports or something, but I can leave that off when I'm moving it. And then when I get it in place, I can take it and I can stick it on there, and then it becomes, you know, a floating platform all the way to here. And then I can pull my boat up behind it. I'm going to nose it up, and I'm going to put the fishing machine on the outside of it, the barge on the back side of it, and I can step off the front of the barge onto the dock. So hopefully that made sense. I'm going to keep working on it, and I will just check in with you periodically as I go along. Okay, so I got the first 3 rows done here to show you. I'm having it end halfway on this strut, go all the way across, and I'm having it come to the edges here. And then what I'm going to do is well, I'll just save that. I'll show you later in this video. But yeah, it goes all the way down, butts up on this piece of trim. Okay guys, I'm like getting into a groove, and I'm forgetting to film and show you guys the process. So I'm going to turn the phone around, show you where we're at right now. So I had to go back to my deer camp and grab what I would call the dregs. The dregs is the word. The dregs of the lumber that I've got. Like, for example, this piece has loads of nails in it, which is, you know, no big deal. I'll pull them out, but kind of leave those for last. And, you know, here's another example. And not only are they nails, but they're, you know, those little 8mm. I got to go find the fitting for that. You got to be really careful when you're working with this stuff too. You don't ever lose track of where you got nails exposed and stuff like that. I'm wearing my boots today. But all that, you know, all that aside, I think it's turning out pretty good. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to put another layer of pine planks on it or just leave it this salvaged wood. And there's a consideration there, which once I get this first deck on, this, I guess you call the subfloor, possibly the floor, I will propose a question to you guys. So this is what it would look like if I put pine planks going the other direction to kind of lock it all in place. I mean, it obviously looks better, and I can't think of a reason why it's not a good idea, but You know, I've never done something like this before. I'm just gonna carefully walk on it. So, yeah, guys. Before I start nailing anything down, I'd have to get a few more planks to finish it off from my guy up in the Keweenaw, but he'll put some in the kiln for me. I already texted him if I needed them. So what do you think? I'll give you a good look at it. Kind of get an idea what I'm going for here. Kind of making a cap that would kind of lock it down without actually having to screw into the trusses. Oh hi, I'm Wavy Gravy, star of the channel. I'm gonna get right to the point. I like treats, and if you send me some, I'll eat them. Thanks! Howdy guys and gals. It is several days later from the last time we were working on this project, and I'm gonna put it in the river. It's not finished yet, but I have a friend and neighbor putting in a driveway into my little house here, and I have to get everything out of the way, so I'm just gonna go ahead and drop this in the river today. Let me turn the phone around really quick and I'll show you how I prep for that. All right, I'm not really sure if that motor's gonna get the job done, but I hope it does. The current's pretty low right now. I tied up a couple of lines and I have an anchor on board, pumped up the tires on the trailer. We're gonna hook up and we're gonna see what happens. So this might be fun. Stay tuned, guys. Ready for a little adventure, Tom Sawyer style? All right, guys, well, it started, first pull. I just don't know if it's gonna have enough power, but the wind is blowing upriver, so let's find out. Well, the wind is cooperating big time. It pushed me right off the dock since I don't have reverse on this little motor. It worked really good. I just kind of floated out, and now I'm, man, 2.5 horsepower and doing great. I really underestimate what these little motors can do. Oh, this is awesome. We'll get under the trestle, no problem this time. You know, this is the first time I've ever put this thing in the water. I just kind of assumed it would be okay, you know. It's a freshwater boat. They came from Nebraska, and I looked it over, you know, visually, both of the tunes, and I didn't see any obvious cracks or anything. So far it's floating, but I probably should watch it for the next day or two, you know. Alright, so I'm gonna have to park it behind the fishing machine here for now, because I want to put it roughly where the fishing machine is, or maybe ahead of it. I don't know. I'll do a pass by and figure this out here. Alright guys, so got the dock in the water, got the fishing machine tied up to it. It's not done yet, but I'm going to turn the phone around. I'm going to show you what I've got so far. Wavy seems to like it. I tell her to stay and she stays. So I come down the trail. I'm going to make a little plank to bridge that. And right now I have it tied up to a couple of pretty stout trees, but I got to do better. Put some posts in. I need to get some cleats. Right now I just got the boat tied up around the, what do you call those? The trusses. And you know, this property has had, at one time must have had a dock, because there is a post there, a really stout one, that I've been utilizing. And then there's a stump that's okay. It's kind of just an extra plan B. And yeah, I have been cleaning out. I've been dropping branches so I can get the barge in and just nose it up right there after I put this piece in and this drop piece in right there. That 2.5 horse worked great. It's perfect. All you needed. Hardly takes anything to move a pontoon boat. I'm going to park the barge right there. So yeah, when I finish it up, guys, I'll do a little follow-up update of this. But in a nutshell, this is pretty much how it's going to be. I might put another layer of deck on here, but for now what I did was use these self-tapping screws with washers, and I just kind of put them, you know, in different places to kind of keep it locked in, you know. So I definitely got to do better, but for now, you know, it'll work, so I'll keep working on it. Well guys, I think that's as much as I can show you for this video. I'll give you an update when we finish off the dock, of course, but that's as much as I can do for now, and I'm just out here trying to relax. I should just go fishing. I got a couple more hours of daylight, and I don't have any meat on board. I'm going to eat eggs and potatoes tonight, but I think I'm actually just going to relax tonight on the dock here, and I'll go fishing tomorrow night. So yeah, guys. Hey, if you're new here, consider subscribing. I've got almost 400 videos in the back catalog for you to watch. Some of them are really good. Some of them are mediocre. Why don't you watch them and you tell me. If you really like the channel and you want to become a member, $4.99 a month, and it helps me carry on. You know, I know it looks like I've got more money than I actually do, but I promise you I don't. I just kind of make do with a lot of, you know, I'm just a very resourceful guy. So if you want to help with the channel, that would be awesome. I am working on some membership only type stuff to try to make it worth it to people. So $4.99 a month. So, okay guys. And if you don't, that's okay too. Stick around, subscribe, push like, share the videos. You know, I'm kind of stuck in that thousand views realm on YouTube there, where everything kind of just gets about 1,000 views, which I'm not complaining, but it would be nice to get a little jump. Maybe it'll happen someday. We're almost up to 6,000 subscribers. So, okay, guys, I'm working on a Nosy Beagle interview. I'm going to keep it a surprise, but I'm going to post it soon. You're going to love it. So I make things happen here on Backwaters and Backroads for you guys. So thanks for sticking around, and I will see you soon.